All right, welcome to the Rotlands Session 0. I'm going to give you a brief rundown about what the game's going to be about. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to talk a little bit about the rules and mechanics that you should expect, those that are similar to Seasons 1 and 2 and those that are different. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we're going to do treasure and XP. It's going to be slightly different. And then I'm going to talk about the Hall of Heroes, which are kind of the major components to completing the season successfully. So I'm DM Sage. This is my third year running Tidebreak and Hall of Heroes. Last year we took characters from level 1 to 17 inside the town of Tidebreak. It's been about 10 years since in game time since that happened. It's been about 20 years. So this setting since Season 2 has changed a little bit. In the Rotlands, I'll go in and give you the kind of rundown that's posted on the introduction screen on Roll20. It reads, "The king is dead. Long live the king. King Ura rules the Meridian Empire from his office inside the castle. He's given up his position as Crown Archmage and left the Mages College in Rithben in the hands of the matron. In the decades since Ura took the throne, the world as we know it has taken a dark turn. Strange energies are detectable across the continent. In the EI Wildlands, which is an area to the north, ground tremors have turned into earth-tearing quakes. Low-lying villages around the Evergreen Shallows have been entirely flooded. Cruel and horrendous monsters have been seen lurking through the last sojourn. Tidebreak has been abandoned as a ghost town, too dangerous to visit. These energies seem to emanate most strongly in the area of the Rotlands. Your quest is to find out why and to put an end to it." So if you couldn't gather it from that description, this is the setting's going to focus on, undead, psychics, horrors, unspeakable horrors, Cthulhu-type monsters. Expect weird shit. There's going to be elements of Ravenloft sprinkled in, elements of just general horror. I think I'm going to draw quite a bit of inspiration from Stranger Things, which is, campy horror, not really true horror. But that's kind of what I'm trying to emulate here. As far as how the setting will play, it's going to adhere pretty closely to Raw, but not as closely as last season. So last season we were very, very focused on rules as written, campaign. I'm going to be a little bit more flexible. We're allowing more classes and races, opening up options as to what you can play. I'm not going to ask for as many skill checks. If you're a barbarian and you want to break down a door, you'll probably just be able to break down the door. The reason for this, and there are some variant rules like encumbrance and ammo tracking and long rests. Those are staying the same as last season. The point of the variant rules and moving away from rules as written is to decrease the level of tedium. There was a lot of tedium with, downtime and calculating, who was doing what and all that stuff last season. So I'm going to try to decrease the level of tedium, increase the level of realness though. Now that's why I'm limited to 2 characters a pop. After one of your characters is gone or you retire him, you can make another one, but 2 characters, I think that'll make it a little bit more real, a little bit more personal. And to decrease tedium, there are 2 big changes. The XP gain. Calculating XP at the end of an adventure was a chore for me. It took like 15 minutes. It slowed everybody down. So we're changing the way that XP is gained. You can throw away your level up charts. You're not going to hit level 2 at 300 XP. You're not going to hit level 3 at 900 XP. We're using the Xanthar's Guide XP rules. Inside Xanthar's Guide, there's Appendix A, Shared Adventures, and you can read that for an overview. It's slightly modified. So you will essentially be eligible to get 4 points of XP per session. To level up between levels 1 and 4, or maybe 1 and 5, it takes 4 points of XP. So you could technically gain a level each session if you fulfill all of your objectives. Those objectives are, and they're going to be the same every time. 1, tell part of your backstory to someone. Another player, an NPC. Tell part of your backstory. Whether it's 3 lines or you want to introduce yourself to somebody and tell the whole thing, I don't care. We just need to get that more organically in the game rather than starting the session, telling everybody's backstories, and then never talking about them again. So if you tell part of your backstory to someone, you will get an XP point. Number 2, contribute to finishing a defined objective. So if the session has an objective, say someone was captured by goblins, go and get that person back. If you contribute to finishing that objective, and you do finish it, everybody who contributes will get an XP point. 3, learn something new about your Rotlands quest. In other words, advance the story. So trying to figure out what's going on in the Rotlands. If you acquire new information, and sometimes all you'll have to do is ask the right person, think outside the box. How can you find something out about it? You will get another XP point. So those are 3 that you have direct control over. Tell part of your backstory to someone, contribute to finishing a defined objective, and learn something new about the Rotlands quest. The 4th point will be voted on Twitch. 1 player will get a 4th point for going above and beyond in whatever capacity Twitch deems reasonable, whether that's roleplay, social interaction, not being a dick, being exceptional at combat, all of those things. It's going to be pick the best player. I'm not going to coach in any way as to who they should choose. So try to be a fan favorite. Treasure is going to be done in the Xanthar's Guide, Appendix A, Shared Campaigns, Manner 2. You will essentially be getting 1 AP per session, assuming that you contribute to finishing a defined objective, which I think you will tend to do. So you get 1 AP per session at level 5. That'll go up to 2 AP per session or something, but the flip side of that is instead of rolling for magic items at the end and saying, oh, look, we got a Wand of the War Mage. Oh shit, we don't have any casters. You are going to have guaranteed progression for yourself, and you can pick what that is. So after 4 sessions, you'll be able to pick something off table A, B, or C. After 8 sessions, you'll be able to pick off table F if you want to save up. But those are really powerful magic items. So, people have already started taking bags of holding off of table A or C, whichever one. 4 AP, no big deal. The other difference in AP is it is tied to your character, not to your player. That's different from last season, and they are not permanent items. So we had a issue last year with the rich got richer. There were a lot of things that contributed to players who played a lot of sessions just completely outpacing everybody else. And that's why we couldn't get any fresh blood in, because they would come in at level 5 and everybody else would be like level 16 with crazy good gear. And that was directly attributable to the failed experiment of awarding permanent magic items that stayed between characters. This season will not do that. Try to fix that mistake that I made. And because we're not doing, the Hall of Heroes last season was the primary reason people would have to come in at level 5 instead of being aligned with the group, and it was done on a donation basis, so that has been completely removed. The Hall of Heroes will be upgraded when a player or players do a heroic deed at my discretion. This will only happen a dozen or so times all year, so you must stand out and be memorable. So this would be like grappling the dragon or the giant to the ground and holding him while your party beats him. That would get you a Holly Heroes upgrade, assuming you were like level 4 when you did it. If you're level 16, you're grappling a dragon. It's like, maybe not. But yeah, heroic deeds, successful or failure, don't really care. Just do something that absolutely stands out. Be one of the 12 best moments of the season, the things that we remember. Sometimes I'll award this at the time of. It's like, oh, you did that? There's your Holly Hero upgrade. Sometimes I'll wait a couple of weeks. If something really stands out and is memorable, maybe I'll award post game session. But yeah, 12 times a year, I'm going to be pretty frugal handing that out. Player trading is as you expect. Obviously, there will be no reason to trade magic items because you're picking the magic items that you want. And even if you could, you're not allowed to trade magic items, period. But trading of mundane items, whatever you think is, whatever you pick up, you find that you don't need anymore, you can certainly trade it. I don't think that's going to be a big part of the game, so I've left the box there. If it's not something that people are doing, or if people are just trading within their groups and are not like, I want to post this to be traded, I'll just take the box off. We'll see how that goes. So that about does it for me for session 0. If anybody wants to come on and chat for a little while, we'll just be hanging out for the next half hour before the first session begins.